got going on? First off, I got a deal that we are closing next week here in California. I can't give you the exact specific details, but I can tell you that it's such a large spread. And these type of deals come along 1 in 20, 1 in 30 deals that are such monster spreads that you have to kind of figure out a way to close it. So this particular deal, it's a $192,000 spread. This came off a PPC, pay-per-click advertising lead here in California. And we literally gave the seller what they, maybe within $10,000 of what they wanted for the property. So, essentially what happened was, came in on a call. The house was occupied by druggy tenants that literally has trash and trashed the place. Seller just wanted to get rid of the property, didn't want to have anything to do with it. Asked them what they wanted for the property. They said 500, I think it was like 560,000, 555,000. We gave them 548,000 for the property after we got the pictures. And the place was a mess. I mean, it was a mess. And after doing due diligence, and we thought that would be a good deal. We thought it would be a normal $20,000 spread. So we got the property in, thought we could sell it for roughly, I don't know, 548, so, 570, 580 or something like that. So that's what we were thinking initially. Then we started doing some more research into the property, trying to find out what other properties are selling for. So we found out down the street, and there wasn't a lot of comps in the particular neighborhood, but there was several that closed off market, and there was one down the street, same square footage, same size, that sold for $740,000. Now, those type of deals happen ever so often. So when you are marketing for sellers, every once in a while, what will happen, it's typically 1 in 20, 1 in 25 deals that you do are going to be huge monster deals, right? They're going to be big monster deals, meaning they're going to be over $50,000 deals. Now, we just closed today. I got the wire. Actually, wire will be in this afternoon. A $70,000 deal that we got closed. Now, there was trust issues. I mean, it literally took several weeks to get this deal closed, but we finally got it done. But again, that's 1 in 25. Our average deal that we do is roughly about $18,000. That's our bread and butter deal, $18,000 that we typically do. When you get a $70,000 deal, $192,000 deal, we closed one 2 weeks ago for a $67,000 deal. But this one, $192,000. What happens now? Let's talk about the issues of a $192,000 deal. First off, that's a big spread, right? And when you're reselling it, you don't want to do a double escrow, and you don't want to do an assignment for a $192,000 monster spread. When you have a large spread like that, you've got to, you can't do a double escrow, and you can't do an assignment, or you don't want to do. You can do an assignment, you can do a double escrow, but then you take a massive risk, because on the assignment, the buyer is going to see the assignment fee to you. And if you have an assignment fee on there that's going to be, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 assignment fee, you're going to have questions, you're going to have issues, potentially have questions. And what's going to happen is that you could potentially lose the deal, and they might not sign the deal or fund the deal with a large assignment fee that much. I've seen it happen. It happened to me before, and it's not pretty. So the other alternative is a double escrow. Now, when you go into a double escrow situation, that means you have a buyer that's putting up the funds and they're transferring the funds to your file, the AB file, to close a transaction and then immediately sell it simultaneously. That would be better, and that's what we did on the $67,000 deal. We did a double escrow, and that's what we did on the deal we closed today, which is a $70,000 deal we closed today. Now, this $192,000 deal, it's a little bit different story because we actually are using two different title companies. So this $192,000 deal, we're going to close on it and own it. I'm going to close on it. The tenants or these druggy tenants, I've been texting them back and forth today, are supposed to be out by Friday. So I'm in Dana Point, California. I'm driving up to Santa Barbara on Friday. I'm going to go up there, make sure the property's vacant, and I'm going to get the locks changed on the property so nobody can get in. I'm going to have the keys to the property. I'll put a property on a lockbox just in case we need to have access up there with the new buyer. And then we're closing that transaction early next week. So we got private money, going to get the deal closed. We're going to own it, and then we're going to turn around and sell it probably same week. So we'll probably buy it Monday or Tuesday and sell it Thursday or Friday. I'm just confirming that the buyer is 100% ready. So what we did on this particular one, instead of getting a $2,500 non-refundable deposit, we got a $10,000 non-refundable deposit. And we wanted to make sure we got proof of funds, and we wanted to make sure we verify that these guys can close. So before I fund this transaction, even though it's a smoking deal, I could list it on the MLS, I could turn around and sell it, no problem. I just want to make sure our buyer is legit. So when we actually got the contract signed on this property, like I said, we thought it initially was a $20,000 deal. We're going to buy it for $548, and we're going to turn around and sell it for $568, maybe $570, until we started doing due diligence on it and found out that as is property, there's several as is properties that just recently closed off MLS in the same subdivision, literally right around the corner. I actually went and got pictures of it because I drove up there last week and checked it out. Closed for $740,000, $740,000. So we got it for $548, selling it for $740, and which is a huge $192,000 spread on the deal. Now we're gonna have to pay some money cost, but it's nominal, and a couple $1,000 to get the deal closed, no big deal. But that is it. Otherwise, it's a smoking deal that we're able to get done. Now, title's clean. We got the title report back, so there's nothing, no issues on title. But when you have a huge monster deal, you want to avoid doing a double escrow, and you want to avoid doing an assignment. Now I know that sucks because, I teach obviously double escrow and I teach an assignment. That's when you have to have no cash or credit. Now in this situation, we've got to actually close the transaction. So I got a private money. It's going to lend us about $440,000. I'm going to wire in the balance, I think it's like $108,000. I'm going to wire in. We're going to own the property, have no issues with it, and then we can resell it. And be able to own it clean. Now, if there's any issues or whatsoever, then at least I own it, and I know we can turn around and we can resell it fairly quickly, listing it on the MLS and getting that thing done. But very rarely, there's been in the past 12 months, I've closed on maybe three properties that we closed on. That needed to be closed on because the spreads were too large. Now that's a good thing to happen, when the spreads are too big and you want to make sure you close on the property, because here's the thing. What's the risk? The risk is we blast it out to the marketplace, right? And we put it out on text message, we send our email blast out, we talk to the flippers. What happens if a buyer goes over to the property that's a unscrupulous buyer, and then tries to circumvent the transaction, meaning they try to go around us and talk to the seller and say, listen, I'll give you $10,000 more, I'll give you $15,000 more, and then they try to snake that deal from us. Now, it rarely happens, but it does happen. And because it does happen, we don't want to take that risk on a $192,000 deal. We just want to keep quiet, right? We just want to contract the deal and then close on it, own it. Now we have 100% control of it, and we can turn around and sell it. Now, especially that we have now a buyer locked up for a $75,000. He's buying it for $740,000, and he's got a $10,000 non-refundable deposit. It's already been cleared. It's already been put in title. So those I suggest. Now, you can also use, instead of buying it and owning it, you can use transactional funding. Transactional funding, you'll buy it and own it for a day, and then you'll resell it the next following day. And when we use transactional funding, you'll get charged anywhere from a point to 3 points to use that money for 24 hours. There is a definite risk factor involved for a lender to be able to do that. So anyways, the bottom line is that when you have monster deals, 1 in about 25 is a monster deal. So just know that, which is great, because the last monster deal we had, it was a $200,000 property we got for $50,000. That was pretty trash. So I bought it, closed on it, owned it, cleaned it up, and then we turned around and resold it, made $130,000 on it. 200,000 as is. It was like 300,000 plus, all fixed up. The other property we closed on, I actually renovated and sold. That property I got for 300,000. Put 100,000 into it and sold it for 600,000. But those opportunities will come up as you're fishing for sellers, into the market. Now, and you're going to get a lot more incredible opportunities.